Okay, we're on Caladesi Island today, which was once part of Honeymoon Island, together known as Hog Island. In the early 20th century, a hurricane came through, created the pass and the separation between the two islands. Caladesi Island is not an island to itself. It is all part of, it's north end of Clearwater Beach, basically. To the extent that Clearwater Beach is also an island, then this is part of an island, but it is not an island of all itself. So the term Caladesi Island is a misnomer today. At one point, there was a separation. Caladesi Island goes back to prehistoric times. There have been excavations done and middens, mounds, burial mounds. From my understanding, 33 Tocobaga skeletons have been removed from here. And I'm assuming that was done, excuse me, partially because to protect them. I mean, because people will come out and rob graves and do crazy shit. So, you know, you got to dig stuff up just to protect it a lot of times. The reason why we're here today is this is a ruin, the Scharrer Homestead Ruins. We're standing on the site of what was once his home. We are indebted to his daughter, Myrtle Betts, her married name, who at 87 years of age, she was born in the late 19th century, wrote down her memory in a book called Yesteryear I Lived in Paradise, I think is the name of the book. I've read it, I don't have it, but it's an extraordinary account. And it is the reason why we know what we know now about Henry Scharrer. Her account is the historical account of this man's life and existence out here. He came to this country, and going back a moment, in many instances, in these kind of places we find that we just see ruins, but we don't really know what it was. Or maybe there's a name, but we don't know the history of it. Here we know the history because this woman wrote it down. So if anybody sees this at any point in time and either can write something down or can has a relative that can write something down or knows an older relative or something, they can write down the memories of the people that went before them. That's essentially an oral history, and that is what we need to have done to preserve not only the sites but to give a real face to the sites. We know what we know about this guy in great part, because of his daughter. Anyway, Henry Scharrer came to the country, I think in 93, maybe. Anyway, late 19th century, from Switzerland, knocked around a little bit, decided he wanted to buy a sailboat and sail down to South America. Clearly a wanderer spirit to a degree. Bought the sailboat in Tampa, took it out to basically, you know, check it out. I forget the sailing term for it, but he was making sure it worked and that he could handle it. He got up by Caladesi in this area out in the Gulf. Now, right now we are on the peninsula of Caladesi Island. This right over here, about maybe 50 yards or so, is about. I can see the water right through the trees. Is what they call Scharrer's Bayou. They call that now. And St. Joseph's Sound is right behind me, not very far, right over that crest of trees there. Between Clearwater Beach and what is now Caladesi Island, and then Hog Island, was a pass. He saw a storm coming up, slipped into the pass, got into St. Joseph's Sound, weathered the storm. Next morning, woke up and it was aground. The boat was aground, so he's like, you know, check this place out. Checked it out, fell in love with it, and went back and started paperwork to homestead it. Brought building material out here. Lived out here for 40 years, maybe 45 years, something in that area. The rest of his life, he lived out here. So that's just astonishing in and of itself. The state of Florida did a report, an archaeological / natural report on this area in, I think it was '02 or '04, and decided that many of the metal artifacts were being plundered, and they removed them to keep people from ripping them off, basically. So I'm assuming that they're up in a museum in Tallahassee now somewhere, or they are cataloged or something. Some way or another, they didn't destroy them, but they took them, a lot of them, because again, people were out here plundering, because that's what a lot of people do. There's in our community, there's two kinds of people that take stuff and people that don't, and that's just how it is. There's people that take stuff. So Henry Scharrer came out. He made this what the phone is standing on right now is a fireplace. He made that out of brick and tabby. He made the rest of his stuff out of brick and tabby, mostly tabby on the foundation, and the sides and roof were wooden, of course. So we're going to take a look at that real quick. There's a couple of kiosk signs over here that detail some extra information. We're going to take a look at those too. Apparently there are some outbuildings around, foundations of outbuildings. I'm not sure, what those consist of. I don't see anything here. I don't have my snake gaiters with me. I'm not going to go traipsing around the bush to find that. I found this. This is what I came out to find. And this is astonishing. Just Caladesi Island alone right now is 650 acres, more or less, give or take. Henry Scharrer, and his girl, his daughter, whose mother passed away when she was 6 or 7 years old, depending on accounts, homesteaded 150 acres. So it would have extended up that way away and to the end down here. Excuse me, which isn't very far. Like I said, it's probably 50, 60 yards, if that, down there. The daughter, Myrtle, as she grew, 8, 9 years old, would row a boat from here across St. Joseph Sound to Dunedin. It was now Dunedin. It was then Dunedin, I guess, to go to school and row herself back every night to come back home. She was essentially the woman of the house. She cooked. She used all the old Florida cracker recipes. There's actually a book out about the recipes, I believe, that she wrote. But everything, you could use natural. You were using natural. Henry Scharrer, he raised pigs, bees, honey, fished. He had a garden, did oysters, so they sustained themselves very well out here. This was a hot, tough, difficult existence, but no more so than the other places that we've seen of this age, this type of this time frame when you would come down here and hack it out of the wilderness, as it were. So we're going to turn this bad boy around so we can see what we came to see. Yay, it worked. Okay, and that, as you can see, is the back end of the fireplace. Try not to do too much herky-jerky here. We're looking for snakes. I've seen a rattlesnake already, and this area and Honeymoon Island are both known for heavy rattlesnake infestation. So I believe those signs. I believe those rumors. I've confirmed at least one sighting, and not going to take any chances. We're going to look around. So, and this is it. This is where he lived. I mean, this would have been, depending on how many stories he had. Even if it was one story, that's pretty significant. That's a good, I don't know, 40 feet, maybe 50 feet at least, by 10 or 12. So, and this, what I'm standing on here, was maybe a kitchen. I don't know, there couldn't have been a kitchen. The fireplace was over there. But anyway, we can see here that the tabby, it was much taller. and it was more extensive, so it would have extended out to this footer right here, basically. We got the little flue at the bottom, the chimney going up top, which you can see here. This is all part of that chimney that crashed down over the years, and they would have had a decent little living here. Trying to be too fast here. That gives you a really good overview, and this is even more so of the entire place here. Astonishing. This would have been a place of industry, activity. A lot of these trees wouldn't have been here. He took a sailboat over and purchased the material he needed, and came back and built his home. Now, I'm going to just show this real quick so anybody who wants to read it can do so. More or less freeze the motion and read it. He was in his 30s when he came over. He was trained as I think it was an educator in Switzerland. He was an educated man. We don't know anything about his past. I don't know if he never told his daughter or she didn't write it down in the book, but it must have been something that led him to this solitude. He wanted to leave this country once he came here for 5 years, knocked around. He didn't stay anywhere long. He wanted to move. He wanted to go explore South America. He was on a sailboat, basically heading down that way when he ran aground here and found this. So we don't know what in his life would have transpired to make him want to seek that kind of solitude, but eventually maybe he had another family and they passed away in some sort of plague or something. It's pure speculation, but everything compels us all to do what we do. So who knows what drove this guy? And he obviously had the means, the financial wherewithal to buy a sailboat and to buy material to live out here and all that. I mean, once he was out here, he grew his everything, and he sold the fish, and he sold, the pigs and honey and all that kind of stuff. And it didn't take a lot of outside sourcing to live out here, but to get out here initially, there was initial outlay, so he had to have that. And I don't know, he wasn't just some vagabond guy that strolled in off a boat somewhere in Ellis Island and just decided to start pig farming. He had some means, he had some demons, obviously, to drive him down here and away, to live out here away from everybody else. I can certainly relate to the wanting to live away from everybody else aspect of it. So anyway, we're going to shut this bad boy down now and photograph and jump on out of here. It's a compelling and amazing